I never thought my daughter's habit of recording voice notes would save my life, but sitting in Dr. Anderson's office that Tuesday morning, everything changed. I'm Kate Mitchell, 35, mother of two beautiful children, Emma, 8, and Lucas, 5. After my husband Mike's death 2 years ago, his sister Sarah appointed herself our family's guardian angel. If only I'd known then that angels could be demons in disguise. Mrs. Mitchell, how long have you been experiencing these thoughts? Dr. Anderson asked, peering at me over his wire-rimmed glasses. The morning sunlight streaming through his office window cast shadows across his concerned face. I'm not experiencing any thoughts, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm telling you what's actually happening. Sarah comes to our house when I'm sleeping. She goes through my things, moves stuff around, and tries to make me think I'm losing my mind. The psychiatrist's pen scratched against his notepad. I could only imagine what he was writing: paranoid delusions, persecutory thoughts, possible schizophrenia. And you believe your sister-in-law is doing this? Why exactly? Before I could answer, the office door burst open. Sarah stood there, her perfectly styled blonde hair framing a face full of practiced concern. "Oh, thank goodness I made it in time," she exclaimed, clutching her designer handbag to her chest. "Doctor, I'm Sarah Mitchell, Kate's sister-in-law. I'm the one who called your office about her condition." My hands gripped the armrests of my chair. "What are you doing here? How did you even know about this appointment?" Sarah's blue eyes welled with tears as she sank into the chair next to me. "Oh, Kate, honey, I'm just so worried about you. Ever since Mike passed." She turned to Dr. Anderson. "Doctor, she's been getting worse. She thinks I'm breaking into her house at night, moving her furniture, stealing her clothes. Last week, she accused me of trying to poison her coffee." "Because you did," I snapped, then immediately regretted my outburst as Dr. Anderson's eyebrows shot up. "I saw you put something in my mug when you thought I wasn't looking." "See what I mean?" Sarah's voice cracked with emotion. "These paranoid delusions, they're getting more elaborate. Last month, she told our whole family I was trying to get custody of her kids. It's breaking my heart to see Mike's widow like this." My throat tightened. "I found a custody paperwork in your bag when you left it at my house. You forgot to zip it closed." Sarah shook her head, tears now flowing freely. "Doctor, I've never even considered such a thing. I love those children like they're my own, but Kate is their mother. I would never." She dabbed at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "I'm just trying to help, to be there for my brother's family, and she turns everything into some kind of conspiracy against her." Dr. Anderson's pen hadn't stopped moving. "Mrs. Mitchell." "Kate, how long have you known Sarah?" 10 years, I replied. "Since Mike and I got married." "And before your husband's passing, did you have these suspicions about her?" "No, because she wasn't doing these things then." I could hear the desperation in my voice, see the way both Sarah and Dr. Anderson exchanged knowing looks. It started small. She'd show up unannounced, saying she was just checking in. Then she started telling the neighbors I was struggling with grief, that I might need help with the kids. She told Emma's teacher I was having trouble coping, suggested they keep an eye on my daughter for signs of neglect. "I was trying to build a support system for you," Sarah interjected softly. "Everyone wants to help Kate. We're all concerned." "Mrs. Mitchell." Dr. Anderson leaned forward, his voice gentle but firm. "Sometimes after a traumatic loss, our minds can play tricks on us. Grief can manifest in unexpected ways, including paranoid thoughts about those closest to us. I'm not paranoid." I stood up, my hands shaking. "My husband dies in a car accident, and suddenly his sister is everywhere, undermining me, gaslighting me, trying to make everyone think I'm crazy. And now I know why. I found the life insurance paperwork, Sarah. The policy you didn't know Mike had made me the sole beneficiary of. The one that's worth $2 million. Sarah gasped, pressing her hand to her chest. "Doctor, this is exactly what I was talking about. These conspiracy theories. Kate, honey, I didn't even know about any life insurance. I'm independently wealthy. I don't need money. I just want to make sure you and the kids are okay." Dr. Anderson was writing again, and I could feel my world starting to crumble. How did Sarah always do this? How did she always manage to make me sound like the unstable one? My vision blurred with tears of frustration. I think Dr. Anderson said carefully, given the severity of these paranoid thoughts, we should discuss the possibility of inpatient observation. No, I whispered, backing toward the door. No, you can't do this. My children need me. The children will be safe with me. Sarah stood, reaching for my arm. It'll just be for a little while, until you're better. Emma and Lucas love staying at Auntie Sarah's house. Don't touch me. I jerked away from her. You've been planning this all along, haven't you? Make everyone think I'm crazy, get me committed, then swoop in and take my kids and Mike's money. Doctor, Sarah's voice was urgent now. She's becoming agitated. Should we call someone? Dr. Anderson reached for his phone. I think that would be wise. Mrs. Mitchell clearly needs immediate intervention. Just then, a small voice came from the doorway. Mommy. We all turned to see Emma standing there, her pink tablet clutched to her chest, her dark eyes wide with concern. Behind her stood Carol, my neighbor, who had driven us to the appointment and had been waiting with Emma in the reception area. I'm sorry, Carol said. She heard raised voices and got worried. Emma, sweetie, Sarah cooed, stepping toward her. The grown-ups are just talking. Why don't we go back outside with Carol? But Emma's eyes were fixed on Sarah, and there was something in my daughter's expression I'd never seen before. Auntie Sarah, she said quietly, remember when you came over last week, when you thought Mommy was napping? Sarah's perfectly composed face flickered for just a moment. I'm not sure what you mean, sweetheart. I visit you and Mommy all the time. Emma walked into the office, her small fingers working the tablet screen with childish determination. You didn't know I was home early from school because I had a tummy ache. I was in my room, and I heard you talking to someone on the phone. My heart pounded as I watched my daughter. Emma had started making voice recordings ever since Mike died, saying she wanted to save memories, like Daddy used to do with his old tape recorder. I thought it was just her way of coping with grief. Emma, honey, Sarah's voice took on a sharp edge I'd never heard her use with the children before. The grown-ups are having a very important discussion about helping your mommy get better. Why don't you? Found it, Emma announced triumphantly. She pressed play, and suddenly the room filled with Sarah's voice, crystal clear and unmistakable. Yes, everything's going according to plan. No, she has no idea I'm the one moving things around when she's sleeping. The best part, she's actually telling people about it, making herself sound completely unstable. I know, right? Between that and the poisoned coffee incident, which, by the way, was just me switching her regular coffee for decaf to make her anxious and jittery. Sarah lunged for the tablet, but Dr. Anderson held up his hand, stopping her. His expression had changed completely as Sarah's voice continued from the recording. Listen, once we get her committed, it'll be easy. The life insurance policy requires a mentally competent guardian for the kids' portion of the money. As their closest living relative in their unstable mother's psychiatric hold, guess who gets control of all $2 million? No, she actually found the custody paperwork, but had played it off like she was imagining things. Everyone already thinks she's losing it anyway. A laugh echoed from the tablet's speaker. The best part, that idiot doctor she's seeing tomorrow. I called his office pretending to be her regular physician. Said she had a history of paranoid episodes. He's totally primed to believe she's delusional. 2 more weeks, tops, and everything Mike left her will be mine. The recording ended. The silence that followed was deafening. Dr. Anderson slowly removed his glasses, his face ashen. Mrs. Mitchell, Sarah, would you care to explain this? Sarah's composed mask had crumbled. That's obviously edited. Manipulated. Kate probably coached Emma Toe. I have more, Emma said quietly, from different days. When you came into my room looking for Mommy's papers. When you were putting stuff in the coffee. When you called people telling them Mommy was crazy. She looked up at Sarah with eyes that seemed far older than her 8 years. Daddy always said to keep records of important things. So I did. Carol stepped fully into the office now, her phone in hand. I've already called the police. They're on their way. You don't understand. Sarah backed toward the door, but Dr. Anderson was already there, blocking her exit. I understand perfectly, he said, his voice cold. I understand that you attempted to use my professional credentials as part of a scheme to defraud your sister-in-law and gain control of her children. I understand that you've been engaging in a calculated campaign of psychological abuse, and I understand that you very nearly succeeded. I pulled Emma into my arms, holding her tight as tears streamed down my face. All those months of feeling crazy, doubting myself, wondering if I really was losing my mind, and my 8-year-old daughter had been quietly gathering evidence the whole time. The money was supposed to be mine. Sarah suddenly screamed, her careful facade finally shattering completely. Mike promised me. We had a plan before he met her. Everything was supposed to be mine. Those are my brother's children. That's my brother's money. Daddy picked Mommy, Emma said simply. He picked us. The sound of sirens grew louder outside the building. Sarah's face contorted with rage as she looked at me holding Emma. You ruined everything, she spat. You came out of nowhere and stole my brother, and now your brat has. That's enough. Dr. Anderson's voice was like steel. The only person responsible for ruining anything is you, Sarah, and I will be providing a complete statement to the police about your attempted manipulation of both my professional opinion and your sister-in-law's mental health status. 2 police officers appeared in the doorway. As they began reading Sarah her rights, I buried my face in Emma's hair, breathing in the familiar scent of her strawberry shampoo. I'm so sorry, baby, I whispered. I'm so sorry you had to deal with all this. Emma pulled back and looked at me with Mike's eyes. Daddy always said we have to protect our family. You protect me and Lucas all the time. This time, I protected you. Over her head, I watched as the police led Sarah away. She was still ranting about betrayal and stolen birthright, but her words held no power anymore. Dr. Anderson was already on the phone with his lawyer, and Carol was giving her statement to a 3rd officer who had arrived. Mrs. Mitchell, Dr. Anderson said after hanging up, I cannot adequately express my regret for nearly becoming complicit in this scheme. I should have. I shook my head, cutting him off. You were working with the information you had. Information she carefully crafted. She fooled a lot of people. But she didn't fool me, Emma said proudly, because I'm a good detective, like Daddy taught me. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe freely. The fog of doubt and fear that had surrounded me was lifting, burned away by the bright light of truth that my daughter had brought into that office. 6 months after what my children now called the day Emma's tablet saved Mommy, life has changed in ways I never expected. Sarah's arrest made local headlines. Prominent socialite arrested for psychological abuse and attempted fraud. The evidence Emma collected proved invaluable to the prosecution, though I made sure she never had to appear in court. The investigation revealed even more than we'd known. Sarah had been planning this since before Mike's death. They found emails between her and a shady private investigator, discussing ways to make a mentally stable person appear unstable. There were detailed notes about gaslighting techniques, schedules of when I took sleeping pills, and even a timeline for when she planned to have me committed. The most shocking discovery was about Mike's accident. While Sarah wasn't directly responsible, the investigation uncovered text messages showing she'd known about the faulty brakes in his car for weeks before the crash. She'd noticed the problem during a lunch meeting with him but never said anything. Maybe fate will help things along, she texted her friend. Mrs. Mitchell. The prosecutor's voice drew me back to the present moment. We were sitting in her office, finalizing the last details of Sarah's plea deal. Are you sure you don't want to make a victim impact statement at the sentencing? I shook my head, watching Emma and Lucas playing in the office's small children's corner. My daughter's recording said everything that needed to be said. I just want this chapter of our lives to be over. Sarah had agreed to plead guilty to all charges in exchange for a reduced sentence, 7 years in prison, followed by permanent restraining orders protecting me and my children. She'd also forfeit any claim to Mike's estate or insurance money. Even without your statement, she's not getting out early, the prosecutor assured me. The psychological warfare she waged against you, trying to have you committed to gain control of your children and assets, the judge isn't taking that lightly. After leaving the prosecutor's office, I took the kids to Mike's favorite ice cream parlor. It had become our tradition, visiting places he loved, keeping his memory alive in positive ways. As Emma carefully ate her chocolate chip cone and Lucas made a delightful mess of his strawberry sundae, I marveled at their resilience. Mommy, Lucas asked, ice cream dripping down his chin. Are we going to have to move away now that Auntie Sarah is gone? No, baby, I said, wiping his face with a napkin. This is our home. Nobody's going to make us leave. Good, Emma nodded decisively. Because Daddy's memories are here. That night, after tucking them into bed, I found myself in Mike's old home office. We kept it exactly as it was, his collection of vintage tape recorders still lined up on the shelves. Now I understood why Emma's habit of making recordings had started. She was copying her father, keeping his memory alive in her own way. I picked up one of the old recorders, pressing play out of habit. Mike's voice filled the room. Note to self. Emma's learning to ride her bike. She falls, gets up, tries again. Just like her mom, strongest girl I know. Sarah stopped by today, acting weird about the insurance paperwork. Note to self. Make sure Kate knows about the policy. Don't trust Sarah with. The recording cut off there. I'd never heard it before, but now it made sense. Mike had known his sister better than anyone. He'd been trying to protect us, even then. The next morning, I woke to the sound of Emma making breakfast with Lucas. My daughter had grown up faster than she should have. But she also helped heal our family in ways I never expected. Mommy, Lucas called. Emma's making funny faces pancakes. I walked into the kitchen to find my children giggling over Miss Hapen pancakes, the morning sun streaming through windows that no longer held shadows of doubt. The house felt lighter now, free from the weight of Sarah's manipulation. I made you a special one, Emma announced, proudly holding up a pancake that vaguely resembled a microphone. Because you're brave, like when you talk to the police and the lawyers. I hugged her tight, this precious child who'd saved not just me, but our entire family. You're the brave one, sweetheart. You knew something was wrong, and you did something about it. I just did what Daddy would have done, she shrugged, but I could see the pride in her eyes. Later that day, as I watched Emma teaching Lucas how to make voice notes on her tablet, because memories are important, silly, I realized that while we'd lost Mike, we'd never lost the family he created. Sarah had tried to destroy us, but she failed to understand what Mike had known all along. The strength of our family wasn't in money or control, but in the love and trust we shared. Emma looked up and caught me watching them. Want to make a memory with us, Mommy? I joined my children on the floor, pulling them both close as Emma held up her tablet. Hi, future us, she began, just like Mike used to do. Today is a good day because, and it was, it really was.